I've participated in Brackeys Game Jam. The theme was It's Not Real, and this is a story of how the Game Jam defeated me. Oh, also I've done the entire Game Jam on stream, so if you want to check that out, follow me on twitch.tv/Buckysite. It all started on a calm day, and I was excited to join the Game Jam, looking happily into the bright future. I've started the process by writing down any ideas that came to mind. Eventually, I've settled on a platformer game, since I've never done that, and in the back of my mind, I wanted to add puzzle elements to it. I've also decided to do an 8x8 pixel art style, since I don't usually do that, and also it can cut down on time needed to create all the sprites. Then I've created a short to-do list with basic features I want to complete to see how I feel about the idea. This is just basic movement and interaction, seeing how I can make a platformer and what type of a platformer I want. I quickly drew up some very basic art just as a placeholder, since I wanted the game to look like something at least. Making the player movement was easy, and then I tested interactions with the box. I've also implemented jumping, which required a lot of testing to see how high I want the player to jump. The testing continued for a long time. By the end of the day, I also implemented an enemy with some basic movement and a player shooting mechanic. Everything was very basic, just to see how I feel. I liked it and decided to continue with the idea. Happy with day 1 progress, I was still excited to continue with the Game Jam. I've implemented lightning, made the ladder, and tested a couple of different variations for the lightning. I've decided to keep the game quite dark and also to include the dark in the puzzle system somehow. I made a cool flashlight that would shine in the direction the player is moving. I wasn't quite happy with the results, and this is the start of how the Game Jam defeated me. Despite that, day 3 started off fine. I've implemented the jump boost mechanic for the boxes, and also I've created a fake box that gets destroyed when you jump on it. And that's when things started to go wrong. I've decided to test the idea of having a real world behind a fake world that can only be seen under light. That would be really good for the theme, but it turns out it's not so great for the type of game I'm making. After many iterations of the system, you can slowly see the feet creeping in. I've decided to scratch the idea. It's already day 3, and I have basically nothing. With the feet written on my face, I've decided to revert the changes and finish the day. Day 4 was the first day I woke up with the feet in my eyes. It was a new feeling, and it was dragging me down. If I could go back and give myself advice, it would be, don't worry, you'll get used to it by the end of the week. Anyway, I got to work. I've implemented the new art, started making the UI. That included designing it and then doing it in Unity. The level picker turned out great, and so did the endgame screen. The problem was, nothing worked. So of course, I decided to make a test level with all the new stuff that yes, didn't work either. So with a lot of progress, but none of it working, I called it a day, with the feet still written all over the face. I'm starting to get used to my game not working, but I decided to keep going. I implemented a save system so I could actually set up a system that sends level data across different scenes. Of course, towards the end of implementing it, it dawned on me that there's probably a way easier way to do this, but it was too late. I can't afford to lose another day. The system sort of worked, and I once again went to bed with the feet written on my face. As icing on the cake, my cat has also defeated me. Now, used to my game being the way it is, I knew I had to make the pretty UI to hide the fact that the game is broken. I made a background and some simple animations. I've added features like full screen, which is funny since I still don't have a playable level. I also made a pause menu and started to work on a core mechanic. And it's day 6. Anyway, the idea is that once you go under a light, you're spotted. Once spotted, it triggers a search event. If you're spotted during the event, you lose. Of course, nothing worked and I went to bed. As you can see, the amount of time I had to develop the game has drastically increased. That's because I realized I need to quit my day job if I want to finish the game. First thing to do was to make the search event work. Since I'm such a professional, it only took me a couple of hours to realize I can fix it in one line. Anyway, as you can see, based on my visual excitement, this gave me the energy to finish the game. I've animated the enemies, some incredible work on display here. I also needed to add some sound, so I've added footsteps and different beeps and bops to let the player know what they're doing. I also wanted to have an echo effect, but wasted another hour achieving nothing. At this point, I don't even care. I've made this absolute banger of a background song. After that, I've designed the first level in my trusty Paint. Made the level in Unity, and yes, you guessed it, ended the day with a semi-working version of the first level. The fact that I've quit my day job really paid off on the last day, since I had more time to work on the game. My spirits were at an all-time low, and I was ready to win. I was ready to scratch that defeat right off my face. With only one level done, and that one not even working, it was time to kick it into another gear. I hope you're ready for some speed. First, I fixed the high score not working. Easy, since I was overwriting it each time I loaded the game. I made the UI for the tutorial level and then actually made the tutorial level. Kind of a bad one. I was still testing stuff at the time, nothing worked, but then it did. So, okay. I made icons for the level picker and moved part of the tutorial to level 1 for a better user experience. I know that it will be a better user experience since I know what I'm doing in general. I decided to make the collectibles a win condition, kind of at the last second, but they weren't cool before. Now they're cool and all is well. I've created levels 2 and 3, that's more levels than I've created in the previous 7 days. You stop to question, what was I doing for 7 days? Anyway, can't show you any of that since if you want to play the game, you'll know the solution to the puzzle and then it's no fun to play. I've added a couple of cool mechanics for the new levels, all in the last day. Easy. Then I've tested a bunch of builds, tried WebGL, didn't work, made an each page without it and submitted it. With all that done, I was finally able to wipe the feet off my face. Anyway, the next day I made some bug fixes just in time. Sometimes you still can't jump, well, it's a feature. I've also made a trailer that slaps, go check it out. Speaking of slapping, why don't you slap that subscribe button, also like and comment if there's something you want to say.